Thank you, everyone, for coming to the final results announcement for the analysts and investors for the financial year ended 31st of March 2016. On stage, we have our senior management as well as chairman, Mr. Nicholas Allen, on stage to present the results and present financial and non-financial results for the year. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Link's annual results briefing for the year ended 31 March 2016. You won't have met me before. I'm Nick Allen, and I've just recently taken over as chairman of Link Asset Management Limited, and I wanted to take this opportunity to come to the presentation to meet and introduce myself to you. And I look forward to seeing a lot more of you all in the future. And I'm now going to hand over to George and Andy to present our results.
Thank you, Nick. I will start by highlighting the performance overview and our key achievements this year. And after that, Andy will provide you the financial highlights and operational performance of the Hong Kong portfolio. I will then come back and talk about our recent initiatives and give you an update of our recently acquired properties. I will wrap up with our strategy and outlook going forward, and finally open the floor for any questions you may have. Our key performance indicators for this financial year show robust results. Total revenue achieved 8.7 billion Hong Kong dollars, up by 13.2% as compared to last year. And net property income increased by almost 15% to 6.5 billion. DPU for the year was 206.18 cents, an increase of 12.8% year on year. And the total valuation of our portfolio increased by 16.1% to 160.7 billion. Our business value is determined not only by our financial achievements, but also our non-financial contributions. Our Hong Kong portfolio was 96% occupied, with tenant gross sales grew by 5.2% amid the slowdown in Hong Kong overall retail market. Rent to sales ratio, which we started disclosing recently, remained at low double-digit level, and retention rate stayed at a satisfactory level of 78%. During the year, we completed 5 asset enhancement projects and took the total projects completed since IPO to 44. A total of 14 fresh markets have been upgraded so far by Link or third-party market operators. Cooperation with these market operators allowed us to speed up the process of upgrading, and we see improvements in occupancy, footfall, and shopper spendings afterwards. Our environmental excellence was reflected in reduction of energy use. We have achieved to date 26.3% decrease in electricity consumption since 2010. During the year, we donated $10 million through our flagship community engagement program, the Link Together initiative. And since 2013, we have donated a total of $27.9 million through this program. To support our tenants, we continue to offer training seminars via Link Tenant Academy, which has remained very popular, with over 16,000 participants to date. As a responsible real estate investor and manager, we are committed to building a quality portfolio which will enhance long-term returns to our unit holders. During the year, we have announced the acquisitions of 3 assets and added 2 million square feet to our portfolio, including EC Mall in Beijing, Corporate Avenue 1 and 2 in Shanghai, and 700 Nathan Road in Hong Kong. Our corporate sustainability framework is embedded into our daily operation, and we are committed to create value for our stakeholders, focusing on 4 strategic priorities. As part of our continuous effort in building a more productive and higher quality portfolio, during the year we have completed 5 asset enhancement projects with a total capex of 775 million Hong Kong dollars, and all projects have achieved ROI of over 15%. We also announced the disposal of 14 non-core assets in Hong Kong and we implemented an asset management model and portfolio segmentation to improve operational efficiency and synergies among clusters of assets, which I will elaborate further later. A prudent and effective capital management structure is essential for us to meet strategic objectives. Our A and A2 credit ratings allowed us to maintain a low-cost funding with effective interest rate reduced to 2.57%, and fixed rate debt ratio improves to 63%. With our acquisition, obviously, we have increased our financial leverage this year. Our overall staff attrition rate was 21%, but more significantly, we have achieved close to zero attrition for our high-performing staff, reflecting the successful tenant retention strategy. A Park and Dine mobile application was launched to enhance convenience to shoppers through digital means. Now I hand over to Andy to go through the financial performance first.
Thanks, George. This year is again a productive one in which we deliver double-digit growth in revenue, NPI, and total distribution per unit. Total revenue increased by 13.2% to 8.7 billion Hong Kong dollars. NPI increased close to 15% due to contribution from both the improving business in Hong Kong and the new business in mainland China. DPU recorded a 12.8% growth year-on-year, reaching Hong Kong 206.18 cents, which included a discretionary distribution related to the adjustment for depreciation charge on the investment properties under China accounting standard. Valuation of our portfolio increased 16.1% year-on-year to approximately 161 billion Hong Kong dollars. 93% of our portfolio is in Hong Kong. The increase in the value of retail properties and car parks in Hong Kong was mainly driven by the increase in NPI and improved property conditions after asset enhancement. Cap rate for the Hong Kong portfolio remained largely constant at around 4.6%. The total value of the newly acquired properties in mainland China was around 11 billion Hong Kong dollars as at March 2016 and represented 7% of our total portfolio. Our NAV as at March 31st, 2016 improved 10.2% to close to Hong Kong dollars 56.8 per unit. As a result of our new acquisition, our total debt increased to Hong Kong dollars 27 billion, with gearing ratio at 16.5%. Our credit ratings were affirmed by S&P and Moody's at A and A2 respectively. Our average life of our committed debt facilities remains steady at 5 years. The effective interest cost of our debt portfolio improved slightly from 2.66% to 2.57%. To protect from the potential interest rate hike, our fixed rate debt to gross debt ratio was increased to 63%. We have maintained an extended debt maturity profile, and the average life of interest rate protection provided by the fixed debt stood steady at close to 7 years. We will continue to be disciplined in our capital management for meeting our strategic needs. Looking at our Hong Kong portfolio, retail rental recorded 6.7% growth year-on-year, with shop rental being the key contributor. NPI margin of our Hong Kong retail portfolio increased by 1.2% to 75.4%. Reversion rate improved further to 25.9%, while average unit rent increased by about 10% to $50 per square foot. Our strong reversion rate was largely due to our successful tenant remixing strategy, which consists of 3 key strategies. First, we aim to introduce more productive tenants, especially in the F&B, which can generate higher sales per square foot. We also actively rationalize the shop space and cut down larger shops into smaller ones to accommodate more tenants and widen offerings to our shoppers. Lastly, we review the tenant mix and seek further synergies by reducing duplication in trade within our shopping centers. Our continuous efforts in refining tenant mix help our tenants achieve positive growth despite the less favorable economic environment. With our portfolio focusing on mass market, we continue to see our tenant sales outperforming the overall Hong Kong market. While overall Hong Kong retail sales declined by 4.7% year-on-year, overall sales performance of our tenants grew steadily at 5.2%. Sales growth in the F&B sector was particularly encouraging and achieved a year-on-year growth of 10.6%. Rent-to-sales ratio of our tenants remained at low double digit at 11.7%, implying link rent is still falling within an affordable range for our tenants. This ratio has remained stable in the past few years. Our tenants are still dominated by non-discretionary trades, with over 60% from food-related tenants. During the year, we saw good demand from mass-market retailers in F&B and personal care. J Garden, a Chinese restaurant brand under the Maxim Group, opened its first shop in Tai Wo Plaza and Temple Mall North. Pacific Coffee and H&M also joined our portfolio for the first time in this financial year. These new tenants have been well received by our shoppers. Apart from new tenants joining, we are delighted to see our existing tenants expanding our portfolio, most notably in the F&B sector. We continue to see strong demand of our parking spaces. Car park rentals increased by 11.5% year-on-year. MPI margin improved to 71.8%. Individual car park incomes per space per month increased by 14.4% to about $2,000 per car park. Valuation of each parking space has increased over 16% to Hong Kong dollars 384,000 per parking space. We expect our car park portfolio to continue with its growth momentum in the view of strong demand. With our diligent cost control measures, property operating expense of Hong Kong portfolio increased by 3%. Property management fees, security, and cleaning fees increased by 4.7%, despite an 8.3% hike in statutory minimum wage in May 2015. The decrease in staff costs was mainly due to a lower accrual for long LTI plan as a result of the lower closing unit price as at this year end compared to last year. Despite tariff increase, utility expense remains stable due to our ongoing energy saving initiatives. Uplift in government rent and rate was generally in line with rental rate growth. During this year, we completed 5 asset enhancement projects, namely Temple Mall North, Tsing Yi Commercial Complex, Long Ping Commercial Center, Water Plaza, and Tin Shui Shopping Center. The 5 projects involve a total capex of 775 million Hong Kong dollars, and the return is over 15%. While Temple Mall North went through a large-scale repositioning, Tsing Yi was renovated to provide more F&B outlets. Long Ping in Yuen Long was turned into a modern, air-conditioned community center by adding trade mix and food and F&B choices to meet the rising demand from the established residential and industrial development nearby. Enhancement of Water was a small-scale one involving circulation improvement and trade mix refinement. As for Tin Shui, the fresh market in the shopping center has been reconfigured and upgraded to serve a broader regional catchment in the Tin Shui district. We have a steady pipeline of asset enhancement projects. 11 projects are underway, of which 5 have commenced renovation works this period. There are a total of over 24 projects about to commence under planning, which takes our asset enhancement pipeline well into 2020. I'll now pass it back to George and talk about our recent acquisition in China and outlook.
Thank you, Andy. Before we do that, I do want to use a case study to impress upon you, which we have tried to do in the past, that asset enhancement is not a one-off booster with only immediate return. Take this particular case at Choi Yuen Plaza. We see that we can extract further value in second cycle leasing after the renovation was completed. Choi Yuen Plaza in Sheung as an example, the property underwent asset enhancement 4 years ago, completed at that time with a capex of 162 million Hong Kong dollars with a ROI of 36%. This 34 years property was transformed into a new center with enhanced connectivity to meet the change in the demographics And after the asset enhancement, the whole of 4th floor was leased to one large Chinese restaurant. Even with that, we achieved a very good ROI at the time. In 2015, what we decided to do is repartition this space and lease this shop to 3 F&B tenants, providing different cuisines and attracting more people to come. This has helped us to enrich our product variety and expand our brand offering, and thereby increasing the attractiveness of our shopping center. The success of the post-AE tenant mix enhancement is evident through an impressive 30% increase in the overall F&B tenant sales in Choi Yun Plaza year on year. And it's up for you to guess how much rent has gone up as a result. On 1st of April, we roll out a new asset management model for 20 assets that form 5 unique clusters spread over Tseung Kwan O, Kowloon East, Kowloon Central, Tuen Mun, and Tin Shui Wai. Under this model, a dedicated asset manager will oversee both the operational and financial planning of the assets within the cluster, with an aim to enhance financial, operational, and customer service performance. This enables the asset manager to be the owner of the asset and formulate all-round strategy and long-term positioning with strong district knowledge and detailed analysis. This holistic asset management approach will also increase operational efficiency, enhance resource allocation, improve customer experience, and create better value. You may ask why it is different. In the past 10 years, what we have done is a lot of portfolio-wide initiatives. When we decide to come up with something to do, it takes us several years because we have a large portfolio, and we apply it across the portfolio. What we are doing now with the asset manager is that they will spend the time in those few assets within the cluster 24/7, I hope. Some of them are in this room. And make sure that they extract value on a balanced basis. Sometimes it's not about cost cutting. Maybe sometimes it's actually spending more money and driving more revenue. They will have to analyze that. And so in the coming months, they will come up with asset plan for individual assets, and then treat them as if they are the owners to drive more NPI. So this is something new that we started on 1st of April, and we look forward to updating you more in the coming months and perhaps meet some of our brilliant asset managers. We recently also have introduced something to attract more shoppers to our shopping center. The Park and Dine mobile app, which directs users to our car parks, provide real-time parking space availability data supplemented by dining and shopping information. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do not leave. We have recently introduced some new features to entice you to go and shop at our shopping center. To facilitate those who drive to work, we are partnering with MTR to offer park and ride services. The app subscriber can enjoy a maximum of 7 hours of free parking if you continue your journey via MTR after parking at 6 designated shopping centers near to the MTR station. A time-saving ticketless e-queuing system has been piloted for 3 of our F&B tenants for better convenience to our customers, and we are adding more tenants to this e-queuing system. We have also partnered with a telecom company to offer 60 minutes of free Wi-Fi to app subscribers in 10 of our shopping centers, and we plan to roll out the Wi-Fi network to our entire portfolio in phases within a year or 2. The significance of this app not only help us to draw tenants to come and visit more often for them to be in the neighborhood, but we are trying to draw more people outside of the neighborhood of the shopping center to come to visit and spend at our shopping center. So a lot more initiatives and functions will be added to this particular mobile app. As mentioned earlier, we announced the acquisition of 3 assets during the year. In February 2016, we are lucky to announce that we acquired 700 Nathan Road in Mong Kok through a government tender at the consideration of $5.9 billion. The property is located at a prime location at the heart of Kowloon, situated on top of one of the busiest subway stations in Hong Kong. It comprises of 16-story tower on top of a 6-story retail podium, and the total GFA is approximately 284,000 square feet. The transaction was completed subsequent to the financial year on the 15th of April. We will be renovating the entire property and position it as mass market retail shopping destination targeting local shoppers. The podium enjoys heavy pedestrian traffic, given its connection to MTR station in the basement, and we are planning to put a wide range of general retailers in the podium. As we continue to remain focused on Hong Kong retail, this acquisition is consistent with our objective to increase Link's share of the shopper's wallet from the same mass market catchment that Link has been serving in the last 10 years. Our commercial development project, partnering with Nan Fung on Hoi Bin Road, Kowloon East, is underway with very good progress. Foundation work for the project has started, and the project is on schedule to be completed by 2019. The building will comprise of an office portion and a retail podium, and the estimated total development cost is $10.5 billion. Located within the Kowloon East action area, where the government plans to transform into Hong Kong's CBD2, the project will become a landmark Grade A office enjoying expansive sea view. We have obtained approval from the building authorities on structural design. We are now tendering the main construction contract. Preliminary discussion has been initiated with several potential tenants, and we are targeting financial institutions, professional service firms, and relocating MNCs and advertising consultancies. The project will have the best-in-class specifications, including environmental features. We are targeting LEED and Hong Kong BEAM Platinum certification, and the property will be the first of one of the first commercial projects in Hong Kong to be registered as a WELL building standard project, which focuses on ensuring human health and wellness in the built environment. Enhancing the quality of our asset portfolio also means exiting non-core properties, which provided several value creation opportunities such as repayment of debt, funding unit buybacks, and new investments. During this year, we continue to review and streamline our property portfolio, and we completed disposal of 5 properties in December 2015 at a premium of 30% to the aggregate appraised value as at 30th September 2015. Another batch of disposal, including 9 assets, was completed after the financial year end in May 2016, which fetched a total amount of $3.6 billion. Other acquisitions in mainland, we completed the acquisition of EC Mall in Beijing on the first day of the financial year, and Corporate Avenue 1 and 2 in Shanghai on 31st August 2015. These newly acquired properties contributed revenue of $421 million and net property income of $311 million to the group's results. EC Mall in Beijing has delivered excellent results which exceeded our expectations. It recorded exceptional performance with occupancy reaching 100% as at 31st March 2016 and retail reversion rate of 38.7% during the financial year. Led by our experienced on-site management and leasing team, EC Mall provides trendy retail and F&B offerings to local shoppers. And in view of rising demand for popular dining space and more food choices from nearby catchment and weekend visitors, we introduced a Taiwanese restaurant, frozen yogurt shops during the year. And the team will continue to refine the trade mix and strengthen the retail and F&B offering to help sustain the growth momentum of this popular regional mall. We are also tying up some of the marketing events. We organize a street dance competition here in Hong Kong, and the winner is going up to EC Mall to compete with the rest of the dancers in China. Acquired in August 2015, Corporate Avenue 1 and 2 in Shanghai marks our entry into mainland China's office segment with excellent hardware, Grade A specifications, and timeless design. The office achieved full occupancy at March 2016. We have done some upgrade of some of the floors, and the office reversion was strong at 12.8%. Currently, Corporate Avenue 1 and 2 tenants comprises of MNCs, pharmaceutical companies, professional service firms, as the top 5 tenants. Given the quality and prime location, Corporate Avenue 1 and 2 remain in high demand, as evident by the fact that almost half of the leases expiring in 2016 and 17 has already been committed as at 31st March 2016. As part of our capital recycling strategy, we continuously review and streamline our portfolio by disposing of non-core properties. We are also looking for good quality assets that we can utilize our leasing and asset enhancement expertise to maximize their value and generate better long-term growth. This active recycling process will give us an enhanced portfolio that possesses more potential to create better value for our unit holders. In the past 2 years, we spent a lot of effort on executing our business strategy to secure this long-term growth trajectory. On top of the core driver, asset management, asset enhancement, and asset acquisitions, we expanded our investment mandate, which allowed us to pursue different types of acquisitions. And coupled with an ongoing enhancement and disposal, we have managed to utilize all our growth drivers to deliver an improved portfolio quality, continuous operational performance, and growing return to our unit holders. We believe that we have implemented strategies that ensure us to contribute towards building thriving communities, improving the lives of those around us, and deliver sustainable long-term value to our unit holders. This year, we have reduced energy consumption to date by 26.3% since 2010, and moving towards our target to achieve 30% reduction in energy consumption by 2020. We've started waste management training to our staff, contractor, and tenants, which have been rolled out at Fresh Market to separate organic waste. And we target to seek BEAM and LEED certification for the latest acquisitions and upcoming asset enhancements. To help our tenants and communities to grow, we expanded the scope and reach of Link Together initiatives and organized 15 events under Link Tenant Academy. Being a responsible employer, we maintain a conservative headcount at close to 900 employees, and we set up a Link volunteer committee to encourage more staff to volunteer and serve the communities in which we operate. Regarding the outlook, operating environment has deteriorated over the past year. Looking ahead in Hong Kong, we expect domestic consumption to remain relatively resilient, but downward pressure on overall retail sales and tourist arrival will likely to persist in the near term. We will continue to monitor closely the Hong Kong economic outlook and supplement with the latest data for our tenant sales performance. In mainland China, despite the downward pressure on the economy from mounting domestic and external headwinds, domestic consumption and economic outlook remain relatively stable, especially in Tier 1 cities, which we focus on. Outlook in retail, in Beijing retail remains positive, as supported by rising middle-class population and continued increase of disposable income of urban households. Grade A office demand in Shanghai should remain stable, as supported by Shanghai government's continued support in finance and service sectors, and will remain prudent and selective in new investments while maintaining a strong financial position and solid credit quality. Looking forward, we will focus on our core competencies and execute our strategy, which have a mass market retail as a focus. We'll continue to fine-tune our tenant mix to provide customers with a wider range of choices, maintain a strong financial position in line with a prudent capital management strategy, and a prudent and selective on new assets, new investments, cautiously diversifying our portfolio to deliver long-term growth. Our management guidance remains the same, that our portfolio mix with Hong Kong remaining our core market, allocation into each of the office and mainland China will not exceed 12.5% of our total portfolio value. Development projects will be limited to Hong Kong only, and kept below 10% of the total portfolio value. On capital management, we will strive to ensure attractive cost of funding while keeping our gearing ratio below 25%. The past 10 years have seen the transformation of Link from being a passive manager of a portfolio of legacy assets to becoming an innovative and world-class real estate investor and manager. With our new brand promise, Link People to a Brighter Future in mind, we are committed to becoming an innovative and world-class real estate investor and manager. We are confident that through continual engagement with stakeholders, the value we create through the expanded business model will be more widely acknowledged. We hope to build a sustainable business and in turn provide steady return for our unit holders in the long run. Lastly, the slide shows the important dates for payment of final distribution as set out here for your information. Thank you for attending the analyst briefing.